There we go.
All right. This is Don't Panic, episode 294, recorded November 25th, 2020. Nope, that's the last one. Take two. Sean, cut that out. This is Don't Panic, episode number 295, recorded November 30th, 2020. Hello, people of the internet. I'm Colby Rabideau, and I'm here with a guy who's about to have his internet shut off because he's been podcasting so darn much. It's Dan Miller.
From my undisclosed location internet. Wait, did we come up with a title for this episode? We didn't. We don't have to. I just thought you did.
I can't. Oh, sorry. I came up with a dumb intro joke. That was all. I forgot about our title. Yeah.
Got it. No, that's fine. We don't need a title. Right. So I'm calling in from the great state of Vermont after having completed our 2-week in New York quarantine, and it's very rainy. But I think it's raining throughout the Northeast. We went skiing on Sunday, and at certain points it was hard to tell if you were skiing or hiking. There was not exactly a lot of snow.
I've definitely been on that sort of ski trip in the great state of Vermont. I think I messed up a pair of skis once because I went over some gravel.
Mm-hmm. I could imagine that's a real risk. Luckily, not so. That's the other great thing about not being very good at skiing is that we're at this ski resort. It's called Stowe. We're not anywhere near it, but that was the one we went to, and it's like bisected by this highway. And you park on one side of the highway, and then to get to all the stuff that I can do, you have to go to the other side of the highway, and you take this like gondola, which is fine because they're only letting like one family unit in a gondola at a time. So we get out, and we get there kind of early, but not really early by skiing standards. We get there at like 8:30. The like slopes open at 8, so it's like you're not early. And we get out, and there's like, we look to the left as we're walking to the gondola. There's this huge mass of people to the left. We're like, what are all those people doing? And then we go over to the other side and we ski around, and it's perfectly fine. There's like no waits for anything. All 2 of the the lifts that are open. And then eventually we go back to leave because we knew that the harder stuff was on the other side. And so Lena's much better at skiing, and then so we're like, ski the hard stuff, and I just won't do that. And then we looked, and the mass of people had grown even further, and that's when we realized that everyone else who was here was waiting in line for the one ski lift that had the hard stuff, and it was a huge throng of people. So it's good to suck at skiing.
Sometimes, yeah. That's always tricky when it's like weird weather because you like inevitably like tons of trails on the mountain are closed, right? And so like sometimes you go to the top and there's one way down, and it's really difficult. Like that is there's supposed to be a like blue trail down, but it's closed and it's all moguls.
Yes, I've had that happen.
That was how I did moguls for the first time. Did not go well.
Yeah, it turns out at the top of the mountain, any blue is going to be of the harder variety of blue. There's probably exceptions to that, but things tend to be steeper at the top of mountains. That's kind of how mountains, that's how they tend to work.
Yeah, so pointy.
Let's see, what else happened? We rented an SUV, and I think this is the first time we've ever rented an SUV where we actually got one. So I learned recently, as I've been trying to learn more about cars as the prospect of buying a car in the next year becomes more and more likely. I'm like, I should know things about cars because I don't know anything. The one thing I learned is that SUVs were just trucks with different stuff on top. And I think now they aren't, but that originally that's what it was. Like, what if we just made a truck and then instead of having a bed in the back, we just put seats in the back? Bam, right. SUV. And we got this SUV rental Toyota 4Runner. It's an actual truck. Like it has those little like footstools you have to like step up on in order to get in.
Yeah.
You know, usually, like I've never driven a car where from the driver's seat I can see the hood. But like normally it's like you're here and the hood is down here, and you don't like you can't. It's not obstructing your vision. The hood of this car, I can clearly see it when I'm driving. It's just sticking out just here in the windshield. It's huge.
Yeah, truck life. My parents have like a truck is a seriously no frills truck purely for farm purposes. But it has, it's like that. It's the tallest vehicle I've ever driven. It's like a Ford F-250, right? So like I'm not a short person, but I have to use the handle to like haul myself up into this truck to get in. And then like you sit up there and you're like 4 feet above everything else. And it's ridiculous.
That is kind
of
a nice
feeling. It goes really
feeling.
fast too. Yeah. I don't know if you'd have this experience with an SUV, but like that truck is like, it has an engine for like towing stuff. So if you're not towing anything, it
I have a feeling that the other SUVs I had were not, they weren't designed to be towing anything. They were just bigger cars.
Right. Yeah. That's fun. Have you gotten to use the 4-wheel drive yet? Or are you just
No. And this is the only car where there's a lot of options and configuration that goes into using the 4-wheel drive. There's like uphill and downhill dials. So there's separate dials, and then you can like adjust on the dials, like depending on the terrain you want it to like go to a certain point. But then I was also reading that there's this mode where you can disable like different axles if you want to, that you might want to do for some reason. There's a mode you can put in if you're stuck, which is different than the mode you'd be in if you anticipate being stuck. There's like I am stuck mode and the I might be stuck mode. And then one of them, I think it might be the downhill one. The gas pedal doesn't do anything anymore. So you put this dial on, and then the car just goes very slowly at a slow speed. I think it is the downhill one because it like locks it in a low gear or something, and
right.
The gas pedal doesn't do anything.
Interesting.
At least that was like my reading of it.
That makes sense, because that's the thing you could do with like a manual car, right? Is like you put it in like going down a hill in a place in the mountains. You could put your car in like second gear, and you won't go any faster like than the car can go in second gear without having to like slam on the brakes the whole way down.
I've never driven a manual.
I haven't, but I've been in the car with someone who is doing that, and they explained it to me.
I've been in the car with someone who stopped on an uphill in a manual. That was my big eye-opening moment. I was like, who on earth would ever want to do this to themselves voluntarily?
Seems terrible. Yeah. That's crazy though. I don't think I've ever seen or driven a car that had like 4-wheel drive options. Like it was just like on, or actually the aforementioned pickup truck had 4-wheel drive, but it was like to use it, you had to get out of the truck and like lock the axles on the front wheel. I don't remember if it was the front wheels or the back wheels, probably the back wheels. You had to go and there were little like turny things, and you had to turn the thing on the wheel so the axle would lock, and then you could use the 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Fun.
The other crazy thing is I actually have fiber internet here, but it's only 10 up, 10 down. But actually, it turns out it's fine.
It must be like a really dirty fiber or something. You're very blurry right now.
Oh, I wonder if that. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I'm on my shitty MacBook Pro camera, not my.
Oh yeah. No, this is like this isn't Apple FaceTime camera. This is like the pixels are like half an inch large.
Wait, I wonder. Oh, I don't know. Sean might hate me if I do this. What happens if I press this button? Uh-oh.
He's gone. Oh, he's back.
Am I back?
Ooh, yeah.
How about now?
Oh, you see, you're way better now. You're very clear.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because that background thing I had going on was just like screwing up the video compression because there was always motion on all parts of it.
Right. Yeah, it's a little better now. Now, see, now it only gets blurry now when you move. But like when you're right. But when you're very still, you come through crystal clear. I was listening to a podcast today and they were talking about video compression, and it makes in like video compression, like video chatting, and it makes perfect sense, but I had never considered that is like a GPU thing and not like your GPU is doing stuff to compress the video and probably not your CPU. I feel like that explains why my old Mac Mini was so bad at Skype.
Yeah, maybe. This actually segues into something else that I learned / remembered. So these MacBook Pros, they have two graphics cards. They have the integrated graphics and then the discrete graphics. And my discrete graphics never turns on unless I force it to. So even right now, it's using the integrated graphics. Maybe that's another problem.
How do you know if it's doing that?
Well, I learned if you go to About This Mac and then you click on Displays, in that little top tab thing, it'll say the name of the graphics card. What I did learn is if you plug in an external monitor, it always uses the discrete graphics.
Oh, okay. I'm on my external monitor, so I guess that means it's using the discrete one. User manual for what?
For your monitor?
Must be. Oh, weird. Yeah, it must be. It just brought me to a like Apple support page of user manuals.
How about now? How's my video now? Any better?
Seems a little better. Move around. It still gets kind of wild. Maybe I don't know. The pixels, the pixelation seems smaller.
Well, yeah, I turned on the discrete graphics.
There you go. Amazing.
Yeah, that's about it for me. That's all my updates.
Cool. I don't really have any technology updates. I didn't do really anything for the last week except cook Thanksgiving food.
Favorite side dish?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. Nice.
Yeah. I can't say no to mashed potatoes. One thing that was nice about no family Thanksgiving, which will probably never happen again, is that we had like infinite leftovers. Like I just finished my Thanksgiving leftovers today, and I had at least one meal of Thanksgiving leftovers for every day since Thanksgiving. And I didn't hate that at all. Like I think I just got tired of it today. Like I finished my Thanksgiving sandwich, and afterwards I was like, yeah, I don't want to have another one of those. So that feels pretty good. I don't know. We made a second round of gravy with the bones from the turkey because we ran out of gravy. That was great too. Really kept the leftovers going.
Yeah, that's awesome. We had just for a similar reason, right? Well, same reasoning was we got Chinese takeout for Thanksgiving dinner so that we would
Right.
remember it as the Thanksgiving we got Chinese takeout, not the Thanksgiving that everything was closed and no one could see each other.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get so much of the leftovers, although my mom was kind enough to drop some off with us as we passed by on the way to Vermont.
Nice.
So we got the taste.
That's good. What is your Thanksgiving side of choice?
I think for a while it was stuffing, and then for a while it was sweet potato casserole. But
Ooh,
my mom,
yeah.
so there's this thing that my mom talked about. It was one of those things like, what's the thing that everyone hates? Spinach, or like what's a
Green
stereotypical
bean
like?
casserole.
It was green bean casserole. My mom talked about it all throughout my childhood. She was like, "Oh, I love green bean casserole, but everyone else hates it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, it must suck." Um, and then she gave us some, and it was so good. I was like, "Wait a second, it's just like I don't know what it was. Green beans and cheese and butter. There's not much to complain about. It goes great with everything else." Uh, so I was converted. I wanted more green bean casserole after it was over.
I feel like green bean casserole is a thing that kids don't like because it has green beans in it. But like, I think it's like the standard green bean casserole is like green beans from a can, cream of mushroom soup, and like crunchy onions on top. Like, I don't know what you
Maybe that,
call
yeah.
them, but I mean, it's not bad. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason cream of mushroom soup is in everything. Like, it doesn't taste bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but did that even make it to the Sean soup bracket with Matt?
Oh no,
Cream of
Italian
mushroom?
wedding soup. Minestrone. I think they should do a second soup bracket with only canned soups.
Oh, yeah, you could go to like the Campbell's website.
Yeah, the that Campbell's chunky New England clam chowder.
It's not bad. I'm on the Campbell's the Campbell's website right now. I'm gonna go ahead and click on all products because there must be a lot. Condensed soups, chunky soups, well, yes soups. What are well, yes soups?
Well,
Well,
yes,
yes.
soups.
This is like their organic, healthy brand. There's not quite as many of them as. All right, here we go. See all soups. There are 85 condensed soups. How many chunky soups are there? 65. Yeah, you could do a
That's
whole
so
bracket with
many.
all these soups. It's a lot. Chicken, broccoli, cheese with potato soup. Buffalo style
Wait,
chicken
did you
soup.
say? Ew. Oh, that sounds terrible. How many? Like, what 85 things can they condense into soup? Like cream of mushroom, cream, cream of wheat.
Cream of
Is
cream.
that
Um, beef and cheese with beef and bacon. Beef and country vegetable
cream
soup.
of bacon soup?
Yeah, let's go to the 6th page. Steak and potato soup. Spicy chicken quesadilla soup. Thai style chicken with rice and vegetables soup. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. You can pub style chicken pot pie
Oh,
soup.
yeah. Tomato soup, chicken gumbo, green pea soup, 98% fat-free cream of chicken soup. How?
There's not gonna be a lot of chicken in that soup.
Disney princess jasmine soup.
Wait, what? I'm
That's
gonna
kind of
go in the
dark.
search box here and type princess. Disney princess soup. Disney princess jasmine soup.
Oh, there's just
Wow.
generic Disney princess soup. It's like a mixture. The mixture of Disney
They
princesses.
just all get blended up like
Disney princess slurry.
Sean's never gonna let us do this again.
Oh yeah, I don't think we address the elephant in the room, but Sean isn't here because his power's out. Because the wind in the Northeast right now is pretty wild. There were things like banging around in the parking lot behind my apartment all
day. Did you get another dumpster fire, or was that your last place?
No, that was this place too, but there were probably things blew out of the dumpster.
Yeah, so I was observing that the further north you go, and it makes a lot of sense, the more the roofs are likely to be metal. And I'm staying in a place with a metal roof, and when it rains, it's a lot louder.
Gets rowdy.
Yeah, in like a normal suburban house, if it's raining, unless it's on the windows, you don't hear it on the roof.
Right.
But here you can totally hear it.
Yeah, I don't hear it. It's the same here. Like I'm on the top floor, so the roof is above me, but I don't hear stuff on the roof. But I do hear it when it's like raining sideways against the windows.
Right.
My windows are also like pretty shoddy at this point, so if it really rains sideways, it tends to rain into the apartment as well, which is problematic. But what are you gonna do?
Did I tell you about friend of the show Chuck's apartment where the windows would just fall out into the apartment, and this was a design flaw of the building? And these are not like nice little country windows. These are like these big honking new age modern apartment, like floor to ceiling windows, like the shattered glass all over your floor.
That seems to be like a recurring theme in like urban construction, where they make a big building with like unique windows, and in some way or another, like some variable was left out of the calculations, like whether it's like the temperature in the winter or like the humidity in the summer, and as a result, like huge glass panels like fall off of this fancy new building, and they have to redo the entire thing at great cost.
Yes, the scaffolding was up for years because of this.
That's terrifying.
Tech news. I say we just start at the top. Let's start with Spotify stories. Now, I feel like we didn't talk about the Twitter stories. Do you know what they're called, Colby?
Man, I guess it was just so fleeting. I can't remember.
Yes, the fleets, and I feel like that. Like, I remember the discourse being the discourse a couple of years ago when Instagram added stories. Maybe it was when Messenger added stories, and everyone was like, "Oh boy, like does everything need stories?" But I guess stories originally came from Snapchat. So, anyways, stories have been an oft-copied feature, and now Twitter has copied them, and they're called fleets. And I've never used one. I looked at them a couple times, and it made me really realize that I use Twitter more than most people probably, but there are people that use Twitter even way more than I do, and they see it like I would never post one of these things on Twitter. Like, Twitter is a very like almost not really professional, but like caters to a different audience. And like what the whole point of Twitter is to have conversations with people, and you can't have conversations about a picture that not everyone can see or isn't going to last or whatever. But anyways, all that aside, now to keep. Oh, and LinkedIn added stories. I think a couple of years ago, I've seen them around. But now Spotify has also added Snapchat-like stories for playlists. I actually don't know at all how this works. I'm going to click on this this tweet. See, it's great when there's tweets and I can click on the video. Oh, it's like Christmas hits Spotify story, but there's no music. It's just another story. Is it the case that like, oh, I see. So the artists that are featured in the playlist can supply their little video message for people who are gonna watch the playlist or listen to the playlist, I guess.
Weird. I don't as you know, I worked at Spotify at some point, and I was in the part of Spotify that was concerned with this sort of thing, like like extracurricular artist content. I just don't know, like it doesn't quite add up for me because like I guess it's like nice, and I've seen things like this sometimes, and like occasionally they're interesting, but it's not
you
like
famously are a big fan of the Facebook recipe videos, which are kind of
yeah, I'm
like
off
that.
the
Like
recipe videos, yeah. But,
if there's a recipe app and it had stories, you might be hitting it up.
right, yeah. I think like specifically in Spotify, I like Spotify is not a thing that I look at. Maybe it is a thing that other people look at, but I'm not like, I guess once in a while I used to do it, you know, like I would be sitting on the train and just like flick through songs or something. I don't know.
When you use Spotify, do you use the home screen where it says like new releases and other like recommendations?
Sometimes, like usually I do like I have my like playlist of songs that I typically listen to, but sometimes I use like I like the daily mix playlists that it generates. Like those are the ones that I usually go for. But I don't like scroll. I don't really subscribe to like the big you know, the curated playlists that Spotify provides. Like I don't really like the Christmas hits of the world.
Now, how often would you say you listen to a new artist on Spotify? Once a week, once a month, once every couple months?
Definitely once a month. Definitely not once a week. Somewhere between those two. Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I think it might be between once a month and once every couple months. And it's probably pretty irregular. I can't remember. Oh, I guess that's not fair. Like sometimes I do use the curated playlist when I'm going for a certain mood pretty regularly. Definitely use those at least once a month. If you're doing a board game night, you can like, it's amazing what you can search for and find.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. I never think to put on board game like music for board game night. I'm gonna do that next time.
Sets the mood. But it sounds like neither of us are in the target market for what are they calling this? I don't know if they have a name for it. Spotify stories, previously called storylines, back in 2019. Yeah. Apparently, this isn't even the first time.
I was gonna say like I remember something like this when I was working there, but I don't. It was not had nothing to do with playlists. I don't remember.
Yeah, it looks like it had something to do with the lyrics.
Yeah, it was like a. Well, there was a thing that like it was like a GIF that would be there instead of album art, but I think this was a different thing, even different to that. Yeah, weird. Spotify has stories now. I just saw the tweet further down in that article. Oh, there's a video of it.
Yeah, that's what I tried to watch, and it didn't really clarify where I would find it or what it was useful for.
Right. Huh. I don't know.
Speaking of new experiences, Colby, are you ready to experience the Super Nintendo World theme park in Where is this? In Osaka, Japan?
I've never been less ready for something. Is it a real life Mario Party?
Kind of. I don't know what's going to be here, but I've seen pictures of this for a couple months, years now, and it's. Let me see if I can find that. I don't know how to do the Sean thing where he shows stuff on video, but there is this super. What is this thing called? Super Nintendo World aerial shot. That like, yeah, here we go.
There is a share your screen option on this video thing that we
yeah, let's see if I'll try that. Let's see if Sean really dislikes me again. There we go. Okay, share my screen. Share Chrome tab. Here we go. How about that? Kaplow.
Kaplamo.
So here, this is an actual like aerial shot of like what it looks like from above, and it looks so unreal.
What?
But it, like if you're looking at it, it like really does look like a video game. Here, let's look at some more. There's one I saw. Yeah, this one.
How did they do that? Like, I was just watching, like, I put on the YouTube video that's in this article, and I thought it was like computer rendered footage, not like not the real thing. But now looking at this aerial screenshot, I feel like it is the real thing, and it just looks very trippy.
What's also crazy is next to Harry Potter World. So up here in the upper right, that's Harry Potter World in Japan. And then right next door is it looks like when you're playing like Sim City or something, like where you get those different districts that have completely different vibes.
Yes.
But yeah, it looks. I don't know if the rides would be any fun, but if I was in Osaka, Japan, I would totally want to go. For the same reason that I really wanted to go to like the Star Wars stuff in Disney, just because it feels like it would be really cool to be in the space. And even if the rides suck, I don't know. If it were $100, I might not go, but for $50, I would probably do it.
Yeah, but like if you were there, well, why not?
Yeah, the rides might be cool, like Mario Kart roller coaster. Yes, please. I think Mario Party as a theme park is also a really good idea. This gets back to my Japanese game warehouse, my Japanese game show game warehouse idea. A decidedly pre-COVID times notion. But man, imagine a warehouse of just real life Mario Party games that you play with your friends.
It sounds pretty terrible. Have you ever seen? It's possible that you were the person who showed me this, but in my head, there's like a YouTube video of a Japanese game show called like Slippery Stairs or something, where the premise is that like there are a bunch of people trying to get to the top of the stairs first, but like the stairs are like, it's a really long flight of stairs and they're covered in like oil or something, and so these people are just trying to run up, and then they slip and fall down because it's very slippery.
Yeah,
it seems terrible.
Exactly. Okay, Super Nintendo World. Let's see. Maybe I should actually give some facts about this. Will open February 4th, 2021. Extremely ambitious, although maybe not in Japan. Yep, there's Mario Karts with steering wheels. Multiple vehicles can race. There's power-ups and items in that game or in that ride, but I feel like they haven't really. Maybe that's the only ride they've really shown off so far. So yeah, if you're in Japan, February 2021, first of all, lucky you, and secondly, definitely check that out. Okay. Let's talk about. Well, is there a story that you want to talk about, Colby, of these remaining three?
We should definitely talk about data caps since
that was the opening joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the headline of this is Comcast to impose home internet data cap of 1.2 terabytes in more than a dozen U.S. states next year. Afterwards, you'll be charged $10 per 50 gigabytes, up to 100 gigabytes, or up to $100. So you only, oh, I see. So you could get charged for five terabytes of extra data. I see. Yes, Comcast plans to change this. It's a cap that's already in effect for customers on non-unlimited plans in other parts of the country. Comcast will give its Xfinity customers not on an unlimited plan a credit for any data usage over the limit during those months to ease them into the new limits. Interesting. You'll get a courtesy month, blah, blah, blah. Affected states include Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Vermont, West Virginia, District of Columbia, as well as parts of Northern Carolina and Ohio. So, oh yeah, and right. So Comcast announced in March it was suspending its data cap policy for 60 days, but maybe it seems like it did that longer. Here's the questions I have, and we don't have Sean here to answer them, so I don't know if I'll have to Google it myself or what, but
let's just speculate wildly.
Yeah, why just those states? Why just those? Are those the only states that Comcast operates in?
I wonder. It sounds. Some part of this made it sound to me like some states already have caps, and like these are the states that didn't, or something, and they're rolling it out in these states.
Oh,
but I don't,
yeah.
It could also be that these.
I see. Yeah, October 2016, most Comcast customers now have a 1 terabyte home internet cap.
Yeah.
Notable exceptions include New York and nearly the entire Northeast.
Yeah. I don't like. How much internet do you use every month? Do you know?
I could maybe find out. Let's see. Do you know how much you use?
I think so, but I'm going to check my router right now. Maybe I could check Comcast. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if my router makes it easy to see that. Yeah, I don't know if about per month. I don't know what the units here are, but right now, if I look at my WAN 1, the Ethernet port that goes to my router or to my modem, it says 2.51 terabytes downloaded and 355 gigabytes uploaded. But that might not be traffic. Yeah, traffic 1.48 terabytes. But over what time period? I don't know. So it seems like I might fit into this, unless this thing is automatically doing it by a month, in which case I would not fit into it.
Interesting. Mine. Oh, my router tells me in megabytes. That's not helpful at all.
That is not great.
That's a large number. So that looks like 400 gigabytes
per month.
Right. Last or this past month. No, this month. Yes, this month I downloaded 451,730 megabytes of data, which is 450 gigabytes, and I uploaded 42,731 megabytes of data.
Yeah, I don't think mine's going to tell me, unfortunately. Uh, yeah, I'm sure I can find out. I just don't know right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it says in here that Comcast says that they gave a very specific definition. Um,
oh yeah, my Comcast account agrees.
95% of customers don't get close to using that much data per month. And that's another interesting quote. Median monthly data use was around 308 gigabytes. I'm going to look up how big is a 4K movie?
That's
100 gigabytes. So
holy moly.
So 1.2 terabytes divided by 100 gigabytes. Yeah, that's 12 4K movies a month before you go over that.
Damn.
Which, how long is it as a typical movie? 2.5 hours. Is that right?
Yeah, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I think that's true.
Say it's 2 hours, then that would be times 4. Sorry, I can't do math right now. It'd only be 12 times 4 half-hour TV shows, 48 TV shows. It's not a lot of 4K binging that you can do on 1.2 terabytes.
That's half an hour TV shows, 48 half an hour episodes, you said?
I think so.
Damn. I definitely, especially in quarantine, I'd crush that. Good thing I don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah, that'll be your saving grace.
Yeah. I don't know, like that. I don't know. This seems annoying. I don't like when things are taken away, like most people. I wasn't using infinite data, but what if I need to?
Well, speaking of things kind of sucking. Oh, I really want Sean to be here to talk about this, but it looks like he's not going to show up. So we can make this our swan song here. So last week, I think last week we were talking about Microsoft Office 365, Microsoft Teams in the cloud, and how Sean was like a relatively big fan of it. And apparently, I don't know if this is not new. It was released in 2019, but Microsoft has a productivity score feature in Microsoft 365 that allows managers to track their employees' activity at an individual level. And it allows managers to drill down into like specific employees and look at like group chats and how many people are sending IMs versus emails and collaborating on shared documents, which is just a little weird. And this is not like, so, I guess I can share my screen again. Here's the dashboard. Sharing screen. Yeah. So it's like, and this is just in the aggregate, but like, how is your company communicating? 65% of the people in your org use 2 or more modes to communicate. So what? Who cares? And there's this other box here. When people use online meeting tools, they can save up to 104 minutes a week. 60% of meetings in your org follow 1 or more meeting best practices. What are meeting best practices? What are you talking about?
What does that mean?
Yeah, your score 58%. It's like, this is not. I get where this comes from, which is like a lot of software engineers. I've fallen into this too. It's like, if only like when I see graphs and numbers, it helps motivate me to like make things better. Therefore, when other people see graphs and numbers, it'll do the same for them. And it's like, nah. First of all, I don't know if that's true, and secondly, I don't think that any of this stuff can be quantified anyways.
No, I think like trying to like mechanize people is a losing
Mechanize
battle.
people, that's such a good phrase.
Yeah, I'm sure I've complained to you about things like this before, but I feel like there are lots of things that are like, you know, like one cool trick to like do this every week or whatever, and it'll like, I don't know, like make you a million times better at your job or something.
Productivity porn.
Yeah, exactly. And I just don't like, I don't know. It's like sometimes like life just doesn't cooperate. Like sometimes you're not productive at work because like other stuff is happening and you're distracted. And sometimes you are productive because like who knows what. And I feel like something like uh all of that context is lost with something like this, where it's like, you know, like I would think like a manager, like an actual proper manager, is the only who like you work with all the time is the only person who can really have a good sense of like whether or not you're doing a good job, because they know what's like going on in your life, right? Like hopefully they talk to you and like listen to you. I don't know. I'm sure that's not always the case either, but right. But the is Microsoft the company that had the stack ranking thing for their employees where like they were all like every quarter they fired like the bottom like 1% of people or something like that? Is that, am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, I think you're right. They ended that practice in 2013.
I see.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just the internal version of that. It's like you used to.
Well, yeah, I think Microsoft has changed a lot since 2013, but I'm sure it's still a place where, depending on where you are, anything is possible, good or bad.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So
it certainly feels pretty dystopian. that
we hope that Sean's manager is seeing that he has a good collaboration quotient in his Microsoft 365 Teams review this quarter.
Oh yeah.
But in the meantime, let's move on to picks.
Oh crap.
I'll go first because I'm pretty excited about it. So ever since I got the Nintendo Switch a couple of years ago, the most frustrating thing about it is it's so portable, and you can use it really easily to play things handheld. But if you want to bring your Nintendo Switch somewhere else and plug it into just any TV, it very quickly sucks, because like pretty much the only thing that will do it is the dock that it comes with, which is kind of big and cumbersome, way bigger and more cumbersome than it needs to be. There should just be one cable, like the Apple HDMI cable, that takes in a USB power and outputs an HDMI, and that just works. And for a long time that didn't exist, but now it does. This is not a first-party Nintendo thing, but someone else has made this amazing little thing. I think it's called the Human Things Nintendo Switch Dock. There'll be a link in the show notes, and it's a little wall nubbin that has a USB-C port that you plug into the Switch, a regular USB-A port that you can use to plug in controllers to charge, or adapters, or an Ethernet connector, and an HDMI port. You plug your Switch in, and you plug an HDMI port in, and you plug this thing into the wall, and it just works. So you can use this little to connect your Switch to any TV, and it will charge the Switch and do, all of the things. So it's way smaller than carrying around the original dock, especially if you're traveling, which maybe not a lot of people are, but if you are planning to travel, you're going to be planning to spend a lot of time in one place. So you might want to bring a Nintendo Switch, and you'll also then be bringing a lot of other things. So it might be nice to reduce the amount of stuff you're taking with you. So this thing is great because I also learned tonight that it kills two birds with one stone. if you plug your iPad or your iPhone into it, it can also play video on whatever TV it's plugged into and charge, which is awesome because then you can watch
Ooh,
Netflix on whatever TV you happen to have attached to it. So check it out. Human Things Nintendo Switch Dock. Pretty sure that'll get you there.
that's fancy. That's a good idea. Good idea.
Colby, what do you got?
Cool. My pick. I watched this show a while ago because I was bored and had nothing else to do. It's called Doom Patrol. It's on HBO. It is a DC Universe superhero show. And I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely not, it's not quite as formulaic as the like Marvel superhero like TV shows all ended up being. Like it is definitely, it's not like that same thing rehashed. It's different. It's very adult. It's HBO, so there's like lots of swearing and, you know, sundry naked people and violence and the things you would expect from an HBO show. But like it was pretty good. I was not expecting to watch any of it really. I put it on once expecting to totally hate it because I'm mostly over all the superhero stuff, but especially the TV shows. Like, you know, like the Flash and Green Arrow and like those ones were just so bad. But yeah, this one's pretty good, I guess. It was enjoyable. It's like you've never, unless you're like I assume there are comic books for these people, but like it's not comic books that I'm aware of. So unless you're pretty deep in the DC universe, you probably won't know what's going on, but it's pretty funny. Worth a watch if you have nothing else to do.
Sweet. Now, should we attempt to do Sean's pick here? I assume Sean is the one who put this dry erase board in.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to open this up. I'll do half of it, and you do half of it, Colby. So I'm looking at this. It looks like a MacBook keyboard, but slightly more inclined, and it's a dry erase board. You can write on it, I guess. I don't know what you'd use it for. I guess you'd take notes to yourself during the day. Yeah. And it has a little slide out tray. And it has the little holder at the top, so you can put your dry erase marker in a little slide out tray. That's what stands out to me. What stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess those things. I like.
Well, Colby, do you know you can get it in different colors?
Ooh, like floral, cute, marble.
Marble.
It's a little black. How does that work?
Yeah.
Dot. Weird. This is interesting. I could see myself using this if it were in front of me. I do like to remind myself to do things during the day. That is pretty helpful sometimes.
Yeah,
but I don't, as a person who works from home now, and as you can see, a person whose desk is in their bedroom, like my desk is like seeing my desk is unavoidable. So I don't want to be walking around in non-work time and be reminded of work things that I have to do the next time I'm working.
Yeah. No one wants that.
Yeah. So, but maybe if I were diligent about not, like, it couldn't be a weekend reminder, only during the day.
So if this sounds appealing to you, check out the Quartet Glass Dry Erase Desktop Computer Pad, 18 inches by 6 inches, white surface, frameless. And another fun fact comes with a 15-year warranty. That might be the longest warranty I've ever seen.
That's really long. Like, how long has this company been in business?
Yeah, I don't know. So that's it for us. I don't have anything to plug because I'm not Sean. I don't know. Is there an episode of the Sean and Matt show this week? I have no idea. Maybe there
I
is. Maybe
don't
there isn't. Are they watching all of the Fast and Furious movies next week? No clue.
probably all of them at the same time. I don't know.
Oh
I
my
don't know if
God.
there's a new one.
Could you imagine? And then you
It's
have to
called
provide
Fast
commentary.
and Furious. Fast and Furious. No, I don't. I don't recall seeing a new Up for Debate in the feed. So if there is one in the pipeline, it hasn't made its way to the public yet. I don't really have anything to plug. I did notice. I looked at Twitch and in the chat, Sin Unlimited, who I think is Zach, if I recall correctly, said, "Did y'all see VS Code stories?" I thought that was funny.
No, is that an actual extension?
I can't tell if that's a joke or not. I can't tell what level of joke that is, if that was his joke or if there's a real thing called
Well, I
VS Code
Googled
stories.
VS Code stories, and there are extensions you can download that seem to do something.
Amazing.
I could create a story. Maybe I'll create a story for you tomorrow.
Do it. Send me which extension you download.
Okay. Their Kickstarter only raised $185 out of 19,000. So
that's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Talk to you next week, Colby.
All right. Bye, world.
See ya.